Very good afternoon, students. So, now let's start the new chapter of class 8 science. And the name of the chapter is materials, metals and non-metals. This is the chapter number 4 as we already have covered previous 3 chapters. Okay. So, look around yourselves and observe everything around you. What do you see, students, there? Okay, somebody will say bed, someone will say chair, someone will say almirah, someone will say clothes, and others they will say wall, fan, and everything, whatever is present nearby you. Okay, do you know what are these all things? These all are materials, and these all materials are basically divided into how many groups? They are divided into two groups, that is metals and non-metals. So this is the all we are going to study in this chapter. What we will be going to study about? We will be going to study about metals and non-metals. Now, what are metals and what are non-metals? How we can differentiate between these two? Very simple things. We have to study some of the characteristics in order to differentiate among these two. Okay, there are certain properties, physical and chemical as well, which metals and non-metals they have. By studying that property or by observing that property, we can say something as a metal and something as a non-metal. Okay, so let's see some of the physical properties of metals. Number 1, metals are malleable. Now, how we can test whether something is malleable or not? Before defining this malleability, let's do a simple activity. Take an iron nail and a wood piece. Okay, take a hammer in other hand. Carefully start beating the iron nail. Do this activity under the supervision of somebody elder among you. Okay, now start beating the iron metal. Now, after beating some time, you will observe something. What you will observe? You will observe that the shape of the iron nail has been changed. And if beaten further, you will see that the iron nail get converted into thin sheet. Okay, now do the same with the wood piece. Start beating the wood piece. What you find here? You'll find that the wood piece breaks. So, here basically malleability, it is a property by which something can be converted into thin sheets. Malleability is the property of metal by which it can be converted into thin sheet. What is malleability? Malleability is the property of metal by which it can be converted into thin sheets. Now, these properties only shown by what? These properties shown by something which is act as a metal. Means metals they have malleability. Now, seeing the malleability property, you can identify what is metal and what is non-metal. Here you can say iron piece is a metal and wood piece is a non-metal. If we talk about other property of metals, then we can say that they also conduct electricity. Means they are electrical conductors. Now, what is conductors? Something which allows electric current to pass through them, they are called conductors. Now, how we can say that metals are conductors? So for this, we can perform a simple activity which we have already performed in our previous class also. Okay, what we require for this activity? We require a cell, we require some wires, connecting wires, we require iron piece and a wood piece, then we require a bulb. Okay, what we have to do? We have to arrange all these things in a form of a circuit. Then connect the two wires and means keep a iron nail between it. Now, when we'll switch on the light, what will happen? The electric current will start flowing it. Then the bulb will glow. By this we can say that iron is a conductor of electricity. Same thing we have to do with the wood piece also. Now what you have to do? Instead of an iron nail, you place one wood piece there. Now again switch on. Then what will happen? You will find that this time the bulb will not glow. Now what happened here? Actually, wood is not a metal. So The metals only allow electric current to pass through them. The things which are not allowing electric current to pass through them, we can say they are as a non-metal. So here wood is a non-metal. Okay, so means here the second property is electrical conductivity. Metals are good conductors of electricity and non-metals, they are bad conductor of electricity. By seeing this property also, we can differentiate easily what is metal and what is non-metal. Now other property, that is ductility. Now what is ductility? Have you seen so many thin wires which are used in making the connecting wires, which are used in the television wires, which are used in your electric bulb wires? So what these are actually? These wires are made up of metals. They can be of copper, it can be of silvers. Okay. Now the property by which something can be converted into thin wire, the property is called ductility. What is the property? Ductility. So what is ductility? The property by which metal can be easily drawn into thin wires, that is called ductility. Due to this property of metal, due to ductility of metal, we are using metals in so many instruments and making so many wires and making so many electrical gadgets and etc. But on the other hand, non-metals, they break. They cannot be drawn into thin wires. Can we convert a plastic into thin wires, and can we use plastic as a in the place of metal? No, because plastic is a non-metal. It can be converted into wires, but it doesn't allow electric current to pass through it. Can we convert a wood piece into wire? Can we convert a coal into wire? No, we cannot convert, because this property is shown by metals. Non-metals, they do not show these properties. Next property is sonorous. Now, what do you mean by sonorous here? Sonorous means a ringing sound that is produced only by metals. Now, how we can find it? Take a spoon in one hand and take a plastic wire in one hand. Now drop both the pieces at the same time. Have you heard something? Have you heard some ringing sound? Yes, obviously. When the spoon falls on the ground, it produces a ringing sound. On the other hand, when the plastic wire falls on the ground, it doesn't produce that ringing sound. Means the property of the metals by which they produces a ringing sound, that is called sonorous. Understood what is sonorous? It is the property of metal by which they produces a ringing sound. Okay, so in this way, these were the some of the physical properties which are shown by metals and non-metals. So by studying these properties, we can easily identify what is metal and what is non-metal. Now, everything around you, now you can identify them as a metal or a non-metal. Now students, tell me, the chair, it is a metal or non-metal? The chair can be of metal also. It can be made up of iron also. So the plastic chairs, they are basically non-metals, and the other things which are made from iron, which are made from copper, which are made from chromium, these all are metals. Okay students, here we have seen some of the properties of metals and non-metals. Rather than this, metals are solid, they are lustrous, they are malleable, they are ductile, and even they are found in solid state. But still there are some metals which are not show all the properties of metals, like mercury. It is also a metal, but it is found in liquid state. Another metals like potassium and sodium, these all are also metals, but they are very soft metals, and even we can cut them with the help of a knife. Now, let's go further and see the chemical reactions of the metals and non-metals. Means how these metals they react with various chemicals. First of all, let's see the reaction of metals and non-metals with oxygen. Do you know what happens when metals react with oxygen or non-metal they reacts with oxygen? Yes, when metal reacts with oxygen, they form metallic oxide, and when non-metal reacts with oxygen, they form non-metal oxides. Now, for example, take magnesium. When magnesium it reacts with oxygen, it forms magnesium oxide, which is a metal oxide. Now, Let us do an activity to check what is the nature of these metal oxide, whether they are acid or base. Now, how to test something as acid or a base? We can perform here litmus test. There are two types of litmus available, blue litmus and red litmus. Here, blue litmus is used to check the acidic nature and red litmus is used to check basic nature. What we will do? We will take a basic oxide or acidic oxide and then we will do the litmus test. For this, let us take rust in a beaker or in a test tube. Now, here we are taking rust. It is also acidic. It is also a metal oxide. Means it is formed on the iron when iron reacts with the oxygen. When iron reacts with oxygen in the presence of water, rust is formed, and this rust is formed due to the reaction of metal with oxygen. That's why it is a metallic oxide. Then what we will do? We will take this rust into test tube. We will add few drops of water and we will make it aqueous. After making it aqueous, we will perform the litmus test. First, put a blue litmus into it. What you will find here? A blue litmus doesn't turn into red. It means it is not acidic in nature. Then we will add a red litmus and we will find that the red litmus paper turns to blue. It means the metallic oxide, they are basically basic in nature. In the same manner, we can test the non-metallic oxide. When we will check these non-metallic oxide, we will find that they are acidic in nature. It means metal oxides are basic in nature and non-metallic oxides, they are acidic in nature. Check here whether non-metallic oxides, they are acidic in nature, we can perform a simple activity. What we will do? We will take a spoon and we will put sulfur into it and then we will heat it. Then suddenly we have to put these into a tumbler and then we have to cover the lid in order to avoid the escape of the gas from the beaker. Then what afterward we have to do? We have to add some water into it. Now generally when sulfur reacts with oxygen, means burns in the presence of oxygen, your sulfur dioxide gas is formed. This sulfur dioxide is a non-metallic oxide. Means your sulfur is non-metal and it reacts with oxygen and it forms sulfur dioxide gas. Now when we will put a red litmus paper into it, there will be no change because it is not basic in nature. But when we will put a blue litmus paper into it, we will find that blue litmus paper turns to red. So here we can say that the sulfur dioxide gas which was produced here is acidic in nature. But do you know here what actually the reaction takes place? The sulfur dioxide gas reacts with water and it forms sulfuric acid, and that acid is responsible for the acidic nature of sulfur dioxide gas. Students, now let's see the reactions of metals and non-metals with acid and bases. Now how metals and non-metals reacts with acid? Generally, metals reacts with acid to release hydrogen gas and non-metals, they do not react with acid. Now here, how to check whether hydrogen gas is released or not? For checking this one, we can take a burning matchstick near the mouth where gas is releasing and we can hear a pop sound. Okay, so this pop sound indicates that the hydrogen gas is released. Now, the reaction with bases. Again the same. Metals reacts with bases also and again hydrogen gas is produced. For doing this activity, for understanding this more clearly, we can perform an activity. For example, take sodium hydroxide in a test tube and add aluminium foil into it. Then again bring a burning matchstick near the mouth of the test tube. What you will find? You will find that again a pop sound will be produced. Here this pop sound indicates the releasing of hydrogen gas, and the reaction of known metals with bases is a very complex process that you will be going to study in higher classes. Let's see the uses of metals and non-metals. Now where metals are used? Metals are used for making various items, various products, various machineries like vehicles, buses, cars, motorcycles, etc. Metals are also used to make various utensils at home. Metals are used to make almiras, metals are used to make chairs, है ना. Metals are used to make various parts of satellites and all these things and so on. So there are various properties of metals. In the same manner, non-metals are also have varied applications. Non-metals are used for making various medicines. Non-metals, very essential non-metal, that is oxygen, which is very necessary for respiration process. Non-metals are used for enhancing the quality of soil and are used to make fertilizers. Non-metals are also used to make various kinds of things present at our homes, like plastic chairs, like wood chairs and etc. So these all are metals. Rather than that also, some of the non-metals, they are also used by plants for preparation of nutrients, preparation of proteins and etc. So in this way, both metals as well as non-metals have various applications in our day-to-day life. So here we have completed our chapter. Okay, I hope you all have understood it well. Thank you.